Om Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe. We extend you a very warm welcome every Sunday at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time in the evening over here, and early morning in Canada, United States, Latin America, post-lunch session in entire Europe. We try and bring you a very special program with the non-resident Indians, those who have gone abroad, our brothers and sisters, those are doing extremely well wherever they are. It's indeed a great pleasure to have all of you. And as you all know that we are focusing on education, educators, counselors, trainers, coach, vocational education, technical education, skill-based education, where soft skills, technical skills, the hard skills and lifelong learning, life skills, couple of things which we take into consideration, and we are doing the program for all of you related to education every Sunday with non-resident Indians. Today we have got a very special guest, and we are going to focus on again related to education. And today we'll be going on technology-based arena, where we will be talking about how artificial intelligence, is giving a multiplier effect and moving so soon, seeping into deep and adoption as far as technology in education is concerned. We extend a very hearty welcome to each one of you abroad, and very especially Yogesh Kumar Upadhyay, who is joining us from Pune. He's the gentleman who was earlier with the MEPC, for train the trainers and people, those are interested to become trained master trainers. So we have been deliberating quite a bit, and we are going to have certain programs together in near future. Let me just share with you now today's PPT, and we will go ahead something very interesting. Have this wonderful slide. Look at it. So, ladies and gentlemen, NRIs for Indian Education and Skills, we are going to focus on artificial intelligence in technical profession, particularly your teaching profession. How does it take place over there? We're going to have Dr. PRIYA VISWESWARAN coming us all the way from Texas in the United States, from the Houston. And she will also be talking about ChatGPT, which is in the news nowadays quite a bit, how technology is getting its space, place, whatsoever you want to call, in our education ecosystem. So hearty welcome to all of you. Pleasure to have you. And International Chamber for Service Industry extends a very warm welcome. Now the technology is bringing innovation in education, because the education is now going to be technology based. Particularly during the pandemic, we all have realized that how we have to adopt technology. It took such a flip and such a multiplier journey during the pandemic. Each one of us, whether teachers or students or administrators, and wherever we are, we adopted the technology very well. And in education, I think we need it badly now. People have got used to, and there's a lot happening in this area. So let's move on while talking about technology and bringing innovation in education. When you talk about innovation, it's for both. It's for students also, for teachers also. And India's challenge is multifold. We need quantity solutions also, and we need quality solutions also. We need local solutions also. We need global solutions also. Because India, when you talk about demographic dividend, it has to serve the entire world. And there's a lot which has to be taken into consideration. So what could be the vision of the teachers, educators, counselors, coach, mentors, and of course the education leaders, our principals, our directors, our headmasters, wherever they are? What could be the pedagogical new practices in education? That also we'll try and look into. Let's move ahead. And when we proceed, ladies and gentlemen, whatever your human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's come together. Let's move together. And let's see what best you can do for the humanity, all of us together, wherever we are. Let's come together for making education and skills relevant. You also know that Monday to Friday, we are with you and we take on different topics. And we are also moving ahead with the different chapters of our book, which we have brought for you post-pandemic. That's called Rethinking Tourism Post-Pandemic. Over there, that is tomorrow, that's on Monday evening, we will have career opportunities, startup, entrepreneurship, and employment. We will take on this, we will deliberate, we will discuss, and it's a wonderful topic. Tomorrow we'll be taking you to northeast part of India, and we'll have something done with Assam. So this program is going live on the YouTube, ICSI India. You can watch, you can join, you can post your views, your comments. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the brainchild and the hard work of our chamber. I wish to share with all of you what is our vision post-pandemic. Earlier we had finishing school, brick and mortar. Now we have gone totally digital. और दिल से दिल की बात करें तो दिल stands for Digital Inspirational Lab. Have a look at it. You'll get the central idea.
Welcome to the Inspirational Lab of ICSI Finishing School for Service Industry. The International Chamber for Service Industry, or ICSI, brought on ground India's first finishing school for the service industry in 1994. However, it has become an inspirational lab and turned completely digital post-pandemic. Here, the students link academics beyond syllabi. They journey from effective communication to connecting skills, curiosity to creativity, along with soft skills, life skills, and technical skills. Health and wellness is another important component of the Inspirational Lab at ICSI. Inspirational Lab is an initiative of ICSI to develop a holistic approach in education transformation. Visit icsiindia.in. Welcome to...
So, you enjoyed this? Now let me just proceed, ladies and gentlemen. And
Welcome to the...
we extend a very hearty welcome to each one of you. And join me in extending a very warm morning, afternoon, and evening to Dr. PRIYA VISWESWARAN ma'am from United States, who is going to share her vision with us on artificial intelligence in teaching profession. What is ChatGPT and how technology is coming very fast, quickly as far as education ecosystem is concerned. With these words, we extend a very warm, very hearty welcome to Dr. PRIYA ma'am. And now the floor is yours. Let's take on the journey together and let's have your vision coming through now. What exactly do you think how the technology is coming in a very big way world over as far as education system is concerned? Dr. PRIYA VISWESWARAN ma'am.
Thank you so very much, Gulshanji. Namaste, namaskarams. And thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this wonderful opportunity that you've given me to share a little bit my views on artificial intelligence. I think it is evolving at such a rapid pace, I would say at the speed of light, maybe even faster. It has basically even changed my life in the last month or so that I have learned about it. I've already attended a course, and multiple of my mentors have shared with me how to use it. And so I'm very lucky and blessed, and it's just taken off in a huge way. Now, several of these mentors have been aware about it for at least 5 years, some of them at least a few months longer than the general population has been aware of it. I want to specifically speak about, excuse me, about ChatGPT, because ChatGPT has taken the world by storm. It was released to the public on November 30th, 2022. And in 5 days, it gained 1 million followers. Whereas, and I think you might have seen these statistics, because it took Netflix 3 years, Twitter 2 years, Facebook 10 months, and Instagram 2.5 months. So with ChatGPT, we can utilize the power of infinite computing to do mundane and repetitive tasks that are time consuming and that require maybe not a whole lot of spiritual, emotional, or other human level processing, but can be utilized to make these repetitive and mundane tasks take very little time and really accelerate our productivity 100 times with the time we have. So it is an incredible tool. And since yesterday, when I was speaking with Chitraji, I think, excuse me, I think the main thing that she had requested was make it practical and make it about ChatGPT so we can learn how to use it. And then our teachers will also learn, and we can share with one and all how to utilize the ChatGPT. Now, definitely most of this class is going to be about that. I have prepared a series of prompts all of last night. And I'm going to go through each of those prompts, and you can see what their outputs, the prompt output is from ChatGPT, and you can definitely learn how to use it. But the main message that I'd wanted to convey, this is a continuation of the presentation from International Women's Day. This is that every even uneducated person in a village, particularly ladies who need jobs, who need to supplement their income, but are still the domestic goddesses managing and running their households, taking care of the children, the husband and the in-laws, whatever, the pressures are for them, giving them the access to a tool like ChatGPT and teaching them how to use it. At the very end of my series of prompts, you will see how they can not only learn, they can also earn money. And definitely teachers can utilize it to a much greater extent. And students will also be utilizing it. And very soon there is going to be software that is released that will enable teachers to understand whether ChatGPT was utilized in student assignment preparation. So what nobody is talking about is whether this ChatGPT has a negative effect on any part of the human brain. Usually when Western technologies come out, we just we run and embrace it. Nobody talks about the negative side effects. And I also don't want to talk about that because not much is known. But what I can tell you is about the negative side effects of switching to a keyboard from writing with our hands. So there are certain areas, the largest representation in the brain for the motor area in the brain is to the hand and to the mouth, tongue, and lips. So this is why in the olden days, people did a lot of chanting, they sang, and then they used their hands for things like weaving, sewing, drawing columns or rangoli, all of those things that required the pincer grip, which is what evolved us from apes. The thumb and the forefinger approximation, this pincer grip. This thumb, for apes, the thumb cannot move in the transverse plane. That is, the thumb cannot move in the plane that is 90 degrees to the other fingers. For apes, the thumb is on the same plane. It can't do this. So this opposition movement and pincer grip is what is difference between us and apes. So all of the activities that involve like writing, like counting with the fingers, counting beads with the fingers, like those, the olden days things for arithmetic that they had. I forget the name of it, but knitting, weaving, sewing, anything requiring this column drawing, like I said, anything requiring this, right? It cultivates and develops the brain, it enlarges and it becomes more creative and more connections are made and things like that. Now, what I can tell you is one of the tests for Alzheimer's disease is checking how the handwriting has deteriorated. This is an early indicator of Alzheimer's disease. And why am I mentioning this to you now? Because in the future, maybe 30 years from now, somebody might say, oh, when ChatGPT was introduced, people's ability to think for themselves and come up with the, classifications of different things, this and that, somebody may say, oh, we saw a simultaneous decline. And in the history of the West, you will not hear that it was when we did this technologically that this bad thing happened to the human race. But just be aware that you use it like a medicine, you use it like a condiment, like a pickle. The pickle cannot be the meal, right? That is the main thing for this. It really accentuates the flavors, and it really gives a nice sharp boost to the food sometimes that when we add an achar, but the achar can never be the meal. So that is the way to kind of think about it. So this will create opportunities, save time. It will definitely improve the bottom line. And it can also be a creator of wealth and resources for people. So I wanted to go over, yesterday I was reading a lot about it. And I wanted to share some of the insights from, I have not prepared slides per se, because I think that slides can get a bit boring and you will not have that interaction one-on-one. So I'm going to share with you, if I can get the, oh yeah, thank you. So I'm going to share with you some of the articles I have read about ChatGPT. Now, GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. This is an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by a company called OpenAI. So let me put this screen on. I have one screen that I wanted to share. So
It has come, ma'am. We can see.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So ChatGPT, the GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. This is an AI chatbot. Oh, well. So the chatbot interacts in a conversational way with users and generates responses in a human-like way to queries. Okay, that was what this page was sharing. Now, I'm going to share a few other things with you because it's important to kind of get a little bit of context for this. Okay, so we'll spend just about 5 minutes getting the context on this, and then we will get into how to use it. Okay, so people are using ChatGPT to code, to build a website, and to write social media posts, and I'll show you how it can be used to code, even to code, to create a website. It can spit out the code for this. Okay, so today it crossed 1 million users. This was on December 5th. It was launched on November 30th, December 5th. Do you know how many users it has now? 100 million plus people are using ChatGPT. 100 million plus people are using it. So how to get it to write code, and this is a short procedure that they have shared. Look, this man says, ChatGPT by OpenAI does really well with coding questions. Here I ask how to build a 3-column footer with Tailwind. Then I follow up and ask for a React version, more realistic copy and mobile responsiveness. And it has given the full code for that. He just has to enter it into that software, Tailwind, and he will get a 3-column footer, whatever that means. Okay, but I'm going to show you a code that you can understand. But this is as early as November 30th, he has used and he has figured it out that ChatGPT can write code. It can write HTML code for your websites. Okay, even you can do it. So, and then this person says, absolutely insane. I asked ChatGPT to generate a simple personal website. It showed step by step how to create it, then added HTML and CSS. The output was used on Replit. So you need to have the software Replit. Then you cut and paste this code, then it will create the website. So not everybody can do this, but it's good to know what all it can do, right? Maybe you want to become an expert on ChatGPT and coding. You can get a lot of money on this. Right now, there have been new jobs created called ChatGPT prompt engineer. And what I'm hearing is they are being paid $200,000 to $300,000 a year just to generate these prompts that we are going to show you how to do it. It's not rocket science. And so we are going to show you how to do it, but it will be obviously a more complex job that will require a lot more searching on the part of this chatbot to generate the answers to those prompts for which people are getting paid that kind of money. It requires expertise in the English language. It requires expertise in clarity of thinking. It requires critical thinking expertise. It requires being able to generate an output that is satisfactory to the person who's asking the question. And in order to do that, you should have spent several hours with this software, maybe hundreds of hours, so that maybe thousands, in order to get the most with the least prompting, right? And I'm going to show you some things, you'll be very surprised. So here's another one. If you're still skeptical on OpenAI's ChatGPT, this UI created Apple's website in just 45 seconds. This is world changing, he says. Okay, so since these software references are a little bit above my head, I will leave it to you to ponder how world changing it is. Then someone else used a chat bot to create a job posting for a 3D renderer by typing in the qualifications and skills needed. So make a job post designed for Upwork that seeks to hire a 3D renderer for rendering realistic product photos of kitchenware. I'm sorry, I'm bending my glasses are misplaced, eyeglasses, so I'm kind of a little bit squinting at the screen. So he asked, make a job post for Upwork seeking to hire a 3D renderer for rendering realistic product photos of kitchenware. So you have kitchen pots and pans. This person should make photos and then make it look like 3D, okay? And immediately the ChatGPT has generated the job description, literally in seconds. Now he doesn't have to sit and think, oh, he needs to know how to do this, she needs to know how to do that, and they need to be whatever, nothing like that. You just tell it. You have to be that precise though. See, that is what requires training. The precision in the command or the prompt, that requires training. So if you're that precise, then you can get this kind of fantastic output. So that was one thing I wanted to share. Then Microsoft has incorporated ChatGPT into its search engine called Bing, and Microsoft has invested between $10 and $12 billion into OpenAI for ChatGPT. Gulshanji, you had asked me about Google Bard, which is the competitor for it. Google Bard had put up an ad, I think it was a few weeks ago, and there were so many mistakes that Google Bard had committed on that ad that people stopped its release, and Google has made it available on a beta version basis to just a few very, very hardcore users of Google services. So that is not, I'm not one of them. So I don't have access to Google Bard, which is Google's answer to Microsoft. Unfortunately, I have a feeling Google has lost the race in the short term on this this OpenAI, this AI generated responses to queries, and Microsoft is just galloping ahead, and Facebook and all have tried, but they've all shut down their things. It has not worked for Meta. It has not worked for a few other things. But the thing that we need to also understand is there are more than 1,000 artificial intelligence softwares that are being used right now by the most productive people on the planet. And so as teachers, what I would like to say is, if you learn one of these 1,000 softwares, imagine how much more employable you are as a teacher, as just a workforce, somebody who accelerates productivity in anybody's life. You become the go-to person in the use of ChatGPT, in the use of Midjourney, in the use of DALL-E, in the use of Beautiful.ai, in the use of Jasper.ai. There are so many softwares like this. Recently, when I was in San Diego attending a seminar by my mentor, Mr. John Asraf, he had one of his friends, Mike Koenigs, come and do a 1.5 hour presentation on all the different AIs that are out there and that have been used. And I was just stunned. I was shocked. I nearly collapsed, because in every field, artificial intelligence is transforming the way we work, the way we do business. And for teachers, I think it is of utmost importance to understand how at least ChatGPT can be used, how students will start using it in the future, how, what plagiarism checks need to be done, and also how you can use that to create a better lesson plan or a better instructional design or better, approach to student talent identification, or several of these expanded roles for teachers that are now coming into play because artificial intelligence has entered the realm of our day-to-day life. Okay, now I'm going to go to our prompts because there are many articles I wanted to share, but I'm thinking that maybe you all want to see the prompts first. And well, I'll just go over just my email headings, okay, so that you see what articles there are. Artificial intelligence can do voices. Here, the CNN reporter calls his parents using, using artificial intelligence, and the parents get fooled that it is him, and it is telling all kinds of things. In fact, it has the reporters' voices, it has the politicians' voices, it has the president's voices, everything. So you can make it sound like Joe Biden is calling somebody using this particular artificial intelligence. ChatGPT can write code. Here's why that's significant in PC Guide, right? How the magnitude of change that ChatGPT will have in society, how I will use it in business, how other friends in real estate and other businesses will use it. Everything you need to know how to use ChatGPT. You can see these articles, but I'll show you myself. I'll show it to you live here. Microsoft will launch ChatGPT 4. We are on ChatGPT 3 or 3.5. It will launch 4 with AI videos next week. That we're talking about next week here, and that is this week. ChatGPT is now available in Azure OpenAI service. So this is Azure is Microsoft's. What Microsoft does is it takes over your company. That's what Azure does. All of the information technology of your company. And it connects your company with other companies that can support you, whatever. It has a totally different corporate web of services, and it is now making available an enterprise level OpenAI, which I would imagine can do a lot more than even the paid subscription ChatGPT Plus, which is what I have. So this announcement that ChatGPT goes enterprise was made just yesterday. Now for sales calls, ChatGPT is taking over the script writing for sales calls, and it is also giving people the emails that they need to send to their customers after a meeting, which was a really painful email. Thank you so much for your meeting. I'm so glad we got to discuss blah, 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 blah. Now you just tell ChatGPT, make the email, thank them for discussing, this, and this, and ask them about follow-up to this, and this, and if they take action, then they get rewarded like this. You just give the command to the ChatGPT and it generates those emails. Then there are clones of ChatGPT. There are customer stories that ChatGPT has shared. It shares its own research. There's just a lot here. I mean, if I start getting into this, we could spend the next 10-15 hours just going over this part of it, right? So I'm going to just go into the actual software itself. I think that I will show you the link that you use to, that I have used to get it to work. So how I did it was when OpenAI became available, and I guess this was more like maybe January or so, sometime like mid-January. So I mean, I'd heard about it, but I didn't know it was that significant. So sometime in mid-January, I signed up for an OpenAI account. I was waitlisted. And then a few days later, they informed me that I was in and that I could upgrade to the ChatGPT Plus if I wanted to. That's $20 a month. So I upgraded because I wanted the full functionality of it. And so now I'm going to show you how we can generate prompts and get like a lot of juice out of the software. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you, and now is the really practical part, is requested by yourselves. And I just want to hide this, hide video panel. Hold on just 1 second so you can see the full screen. Yeah, here we go. So I gave it a command, create a browser extension that blocks distracting websites. And it said it can't do that, right? So then I changed the command, please write the code for a Chrome extension that blocks distracting websites and helps users stay focused. Okay. As an AI language model, this is its response. Wherever this green button with this lotus-like design is showing up, this is the response of the chatbot. As an AI language model, I can provide you with an example code for a Chrome extension that blocks distracting websites and helps users stay focused. Please note that this code is for demonstration purposes only and may require modifications to work correctly. Here is an example. Then it gives the full code for this. Now, have I tried it out? No. But from everything that I am reading in different places, the code that it is able to give actually works, right? And so what it says is this code will block access to 3 popular social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, by redirecting the user to a Google search page for focus mode. So what it is saying is, if you want to block the distracting websites, here is the code. Add it to your Chrome extension, add it as a Chrome extension, and then it will block you. If you try to go to Facebook to check your Facebook or your Twitter or your Instagram, it will block you and it will tell you you need to focus on work. This is how it does that. Okay, so it'll add a custom CSS style to visually indicate that they are blocked. And users can customize the list of blocked sites and enable or disable the extension through the extension setting pages. So if you have to actually turn it off, you have to go through a little bit of, maze. So you likely will not do it. You'll just get reminded, you'll get, okay, yeah, it's telling me it's time to focus, right? Now, write a professional cold outreach email for a foreign exchange advisory firm to a prospective client. Now, this is called a prompt, okay? This, what I'm asking the chat bot to do is called a prompt. And the beautiful thing about ChatGPT is it has become the partner, the muse, the research assistant, the administrative assistant that will never say no, that will never lose temper or cool, that will not have bad moods, that will spit out anything you're asking for that it knows, as soon as possible, literally within seconds or minutes. And it is compressing your workday so much because the productivity is going up by so much, right? So yeah, I mean, it can't take the place of a wife, but some geeks or a husband, but some geeks may think that, okay, this is an easier and better partner to live, to kind of to deal with on a daily basis, right? So no, it's not true. But what I'm saying is, this is the kind of place that it has potentially in our lives when it starts to improve productivity. So that is the prompt. And usually in a prompt, there are several things that you do. One is you identify the role that the ChatGPT is playing, okay? Then you give it the task, and then you get you give clarity, specificity, and context to the task, okay? And then when it gives an output, you assess the output, and then you give it iteration command, or you tell it to regenerate the response so that you may get a better response. Or you may tell it to modify, do this, do that, and then you'll get a really good thing that you can use. Mostly it is 80% good enough to use. Now I will give you some examples of where ChatGPT is not good to use, okay? It is not connected to the web. It is only connected to known sources of Western information and knowledge, right? Mostly. And it has some information on India and some information. I had used it to prepare that International Women's Day talk, and all the information on India was generated by the questions I had asked it. So it has information on other countries, but whatever has been fed into it from whichever source of information, but it is not connected to the web, so it doesn't have any information after 2021 mostly. Okay. Secondly, it can, if you keep on telling it to regenerate a response, or if you ask a question in a crooked way, which some people can ask crooked questions, it can generate a false response, something that has to be fact checked. Okay. Just a few days ago, when we did the International Women's Day presentation, it had given some unbelievable statistics on Indian women. Only 11% of top positions in tech companies are occupied by Indian women. And kind of low figures for the mid-level manager and the entry-level manager and all that. And I was a little bit surprised. So I actually asked the ladies, and they confirmed that that was the correct statistic. But until they confirmed it, I was not ready to believe it, because I don't know what its sources are, where it's pulling from, and whether it's actually the truthful answer to the question. So we have to be aware, and there are many others. It may not always do mathematics correctly. It can't generate spreadsheets, not yet. It can't connect pictures, not yet. So all of this is coming. There's a web version of the ChatGPT coming out. At some point it will, and they'll probably charge a much bigger fee for it. There's a colossal amounts of data that goes into building something like this. So when they say soon, I mean, I won't be holding my breath, because who knows when they can make that connection. I mean, they have to be able to work with a partner like Google, or that's why that Bing is now taking on the role. So only when Bing has been using ChatGPT for a certain period of months will the web services be integrated with OpenAI, I think, so that ChatGPT can become a web-based thing. Many people have predicted the demise of Google with this, particularly when it becomes web powered. But Google is a master of reinvention, and we will see what Bard can do that this one cannot do when they release it to the general public. So the prompt that we said was, write a professional cold outreach email. That means cold meaning the person doesn't know you, but you're reaching out to them and you're saying that you are a foreign exchange advisory firm and this person is a prospective client. So you're telling the thing to write this email. Okay. So now it says, here is an example. Subject, your company's name, Foreign Exchange Advisory Services. Dear so-and-so, I hope this email finds you well. I am reaching out to introduce XYZ company, my company, a foreign exchange advisory firm that specializes in helping companies like yours manage their currency exposure and mitigate financial risks. As you may already know, currency fluctuations can have a significant impact on a company's bottom line, particularly for those that engage in international trade or have overseas operations. Our team of experienced professionals has helped numerous clients navigate the complexities of the foreign exchange markets and achieve their financial objectives. Our advisory services include currency risk assessments and evaluations, hedging strategies tailored to your specific business needs, market insights and analysis to help you make informed decisions, 24/7 support from our team of experts. We pride ourselves on providing personalized, high-quality service for our clients, and we are confident that we can help your company achieve its foreign exchange goals. We would be happy to set up a call to discuss your needs and how we can assist you. Please let me know if this is something that would be of interest. I look forward to hearing back from you. Now, not even one word of this did I write. I'm just reading out what the chatbot generated, right? And then it tells you where you put your name, your title, excuse me, your company name, phone number, email address, and so on. Now I'm giving it a prompt saying, make it more engaging and personal and give examples of clients helped with stories. I'm not even giving it the client stories. It is going to generate on its own. And it says, congratulations on your success. Your company's had impressive growth in the past few years. I'm reaching out to introduce to you my company, which is a foreign exchange advisory firm that specializes in helping companies like yours manage their currency exposure and mitigate financial risks. I understand the challenges and opportunities that come with expanding your operations internationally. We have a track record of success. We recently worked with so-and-so, a company similar to yours that was experiencing financial losses due to fluctuating exchange rates. This is all coming from ChatGPT's imagination. It is creating these stories on its own. Our team of experts provided tailored hedging strategies and 24/7 support, resulting in a significant reduction of their currency risk exposure and a positive impact on their bottom line. Another client we helped was client B, a startup in the whatever industry the prospect is in. So maybe they're an oil company. So in your same oil industry space that was considering expanding into Europe. We conducted a thorough currency risk assessment and provided market insights and analysis, which helped them make informed decisions about their expansion plans. What does this mean? They said your currency will go much longer if you open a branch in Ireland than if you open it in Netherlands, something to that effect. Thanks to our guidance, they were able to successfully launch their European operations without being hindered by unexpected currency fluctuations. So reduce risk exposure, maximize profits, streamline operations. These are all nice, what do you call them? These words are the triggers for people who own companies to immediately, okay, what do they have to add? How am I going to improve my profit or reduce my risk exposure or streamline operations with them? These are those sound bites, And so, and then a little bit of thing it has generated here. We provide personalized, high quality service. We're committed to helping them achieve their financial goals and blah, 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 right? Now, you can have a little fun with this and say, write this in the style of Elon Musk. Now, it's not dissing Elon Musk because it doesn't want to get into a lawsuit with Elon Musk. But previous versions of this would give a very different style. Yo, what's up? Like, something like this for Elon Musk style, So now you can have a template generated of standardized responses that you want to, let's say you're selling a product like a personal air purifier and somebody has used it and they want to return it or they want a refund. So write a polite but firm email to a customer asking for a refund, but the company policy is no refunds. See how short this prompt is? So what it will do is it'll go there and it'll write the letter to the customer. Listen, you wanted a request, you requested a refund on your purchase of blah, blah, blah. I understand you're not satisfied with your purchase. I apologize for any inconvenience. Unfortunately, as stated in our company's refund policy, we do not offer refunds unless the product is defective, does not meet specifications outlined. All this ChatGPT is filling in. Okay, that is, it's generally training us to know when refunds should be given or replacements should be given, right? In this case, the product service you received was fully functional and met all specifications. But I want to make sure you have a positive experience with our company. Therefore, I would like to offer you the option to exchange your current product for an alternative that may better meet your needs. Alternatively, we can offer you a credit towards a future purchase. Now, this is a template. Anytime somebody asks for a refund, you just send this email. Whoever the customer's name is, you can personalize it. But this is a template, right? Would you agree with that? Generally? So it can be used to generate normal business communication email templates. So, I mean, we have a lot. We are here and we have so much to go to see all the ways in which ChatGPT can help us. Okay, so there are that many prompts that we have inputted into this just to share with you a lot of the fun and useful things that it can do. So give me 5 potential blog post ideas for high search volume and low competition keywords related to drones. Now, you all know what drones are and what drones can be used for. Amazon has some sort of permission to do drone deliveries. I don't know if it's happening in some cities here already in the United States, but drones are typically used with a camera. They're camera mounted and they're used to take photographs with, and I've seen a lot of Indian photographers and photography agencies are already using drone photography for so many things. And the pictures and the footage is just stunning and it's marvelous. So what we're saying is we want to write a blog post, okay, for people who are looking, people who either have drones or want drones, and what are they looking for, but nobody else is supplying. That's what this prompt means. Give me 5 potential blog post ideas. And what is a blog post for? You're trying to establish yourself as an authority on some aspect of drones, so you can sell them your advice. You can sell them maybe even your gadgets. You can maybe sell them training on how to use the drones. You want to establish yourself as an expert in a new and upcoming field, such as drone technology, right? And so this is one way to do it. So you tell the ChatGPT, give me some blog post ideas, because I'm going to write a blog post and I want to know what people are looking for in huge volume about drones. Like what are the now, remember, this is not connected to the internet. This is not connected to the internet. But there are ways of getting around that part of it. So if you use exactly this wording, high search volume and low competition keywords related to drones, it can give you an answer, right? So 10 tips for capturing stunning aerial photography with your drone. This post could target the keyword aerial photography with drones or a similar long tail keyword. It could include tips on camera settings, composition, and lighting to help drone pilots capture breathtaking photos and stand out on social media. The top 5 drones for beginner pilots in 2023. That's another blog post topic. This post could target the keyword best beginner drones or another long tail keyword like this. It could provide an overview of the top drones on the market for novice pilots, including features, prices, and pros and cons. Drone flying regulations, what you need to know. This post could target the keyword drone regulations or a similar long tail keyword. It could provide an overview of the rules and restrictions around flying drones in different countries, including safety guidelines, privacy laws, and registration requirements. Another blog can be how drones are revolutionizing the agriculture industry. This post could target the keyword drones in agriculture or a similar long tail keyword. It could explore the ways that drones are being used to monitor crops, map fields, and increase efficiency on farms, including case studies and real-world examples. What the chatbot is telling you is, it depends on your interest. These are all the highly searched keywords on drones. What are they? People are looking for aerial photography with drones. People are looking for best beginner drones. People are looking for drone regulations. People are looking for drones in agriculture. And people are looking for drone technology trends. So that last blog post, the future of drone technology. Drone itself is future, but future of drone technology, predictions for 2023 and beyond. This post could target the keyword drone technology trends or a similar long tail keyword. It could offer insights into the latest advances in drone technology, including AI, autonomous flight, and new applications in industries like healthcare and logistics. There is a company out of Bulgaria or Romania, one of those two countries, in which their drone is actually an airplane. It's an actual airplane, and they have permission from almost all the countries in the world to allow that drone to land in an area where there's no human beings. As an airplane, it will land like this, and it will deliver medicines, vaccines, intravenous fluids for healthcare purposes. So I wish I'd pulled up that site, but it's a drone, okay? And it's a technology, and they had to study aeronautical engineering to design and make this into a plane that's probably the size of twice the size of this room. It's a pretty big drone, but it is unmanned. So you don't need a pilot. You don't need, it'll fly like a plane, but you don't need a human being sitting on it to make the deliveries. So the future is very complex and technically interesting. But here are some prompts that it gives. It tells you what the search keyword is. It tells you what your blog post should be. You can see there's a difference between what people are looking for and what you should talk to them about to capture the attention of people who are looking with this keyword. And then it tells you what you should write in that blog post. See that? Just this few words, it has generated so much of brain and thought-provoking content, right? Now you could choose one of these. Maybe you choose, actually, I wish I'd chosen drones, how they're revolutionizing the agricultural industry. But maybe that's something you can do on your own and just use this prompt and see how drones are being used in the agricultural industry and how they're revolutionizing the agricultural industry. So we picked the drone regulations. So then we said, write a 7-paragraph outline for a blog post with the title, The Legalities of Drone Flying, Understanding FAA Regulations and the Best Practices. FAA is Federal Aviation Administration. This is an entity in the US, just like in India. And what it is it controls the safety of air traffic. So what we were saying is, what are the legalities of drone flying? Like, what can the drone do and not do? And what are all the rules pertaining to that in terms of law, right? So now it gave a 7-paragraph outline for a blog post with the title, The Legalities of Drone Flying, Understanding FAA Regulations and Best Practices. Introduction. Why is it important to understand the federal government's regulations and their best practices when flying drones? Brief overview of the post's main points. What are the federal government's regulations for drone flying? What the FAA is and what it does, what its regulations are for drone flying, including registration requirements, airspace restrictions, and operating guidelines. Discussion of recent updates to FAA regulations and how they affect drone pilots. Drone pilot responsibilities, safety consideration, and adherence to the regulations. Drone pilots can prepare for safe and legal flights, including pre-flight checklists and flight planning. So let's say the drone photographer has to take a picture of an airport. Believe me, he has to go through all kinds of permission processes before anybody will allow that. And they may not even allow that in an airport because of the risk to the aircraft. Best practices for safe and legal drone flying. Tips for responsible use and avoiding hazards. How to be a respectful neighbor when using flying drones, including avoiding noise disturbance and respecting privacy. And everything is controlled by law. You know, noise disturbance above a certain level, the police officer, they're called law enforcement, right? They will come and say, stop playing your cassette recorder or your tape recorder, or your, whatever, your MP3 player, MP4 player so loud. You can't do that because you're disturbing the neighbor's peace, right? Privacy, the neighbor can report. So how do you do that? How do you take aerial pictures of your home or your family without having your neighbor report you to law enforcement, right? Case studies of drone related legal issues. Notable cases involving drones and the legal issues they raised, including privacy violations and airspace infringements. Analysis of the outcome of these cases and what they mean for drone pilots. Current and future trends in drone regulation, right? What are the current trends? Push for stricter safety guidelines and privacy protections. And analysis of what future of drone regulation might look like, including potential changes to the FAA regulations and emerging technologies that could affect drone use, and a conclusion. So it has given you a 7-paragraph blog post outline. Now you just have to write this part. You need to find the cases. But guess what? You can use ChatGPT to even write this part. Find me the case, like for example, case studies, right? Find me the case studies of drone related legal issues and list them all in story format right here. Then it'll go find and it'll give you the cases up to 2021. There may be new cases, right? So use the above outline to create an in-depth detailed blog post with search engine optimization already applied. That means if anybody is looking for drone regulations or, you know, what are the rules of law governing a drone business, they will find this at the top of the pile because you have told the chatbot to make it search engine optimized already while writing the blog post. Any questions? I feel like I'm just talking and talking, and I don't know. I'm not, since I took off all the controls, I can't see.
People are enjoying. They are supporting exciting developments, great talk. Yes, limitation of flying drones. This is an amazing session. This is a significant step for the pilots. And sure, all stakeholders have to be considered. And AI can change dramatically the education ecosystem. A couple of those kind of posts are coming up.
Very good, sir. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to hear that people are loving it.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited to share this. It has transformed my life just in the last month and a half. And so I'm just very, very happy to share this. And I think that this is going to make everybody's life so much easier and so much more productive. And it's really going to take away all of those artificial sort of boundaries there were for knowledge education. Maybe there were some boundaries. Whatever we had in our minds, those boundaries are gone. The sky is not even the limit for utilizing this tool to study, to learn, to know more, and then to teach, especially to teach. This is a fantastic tool to utilize to teach. You see how easy the instructional design becomes when you have an assistant that's working 24/7 that can generate research and give you a paper on any topic. Look at this. It just generated the detailed blog post that expands on the outline and applied. It's already applied the search engine optimization best practices. Look at this blog post, 7 paragraphs. addressing each and everything, including the case studies. See that? A drone pilot in California was fined for flying his drone over the Los Angeles Police Department's Hollywood division without permission. And a Kentucky man was arrested for shooting down a drone that was flying over his property. These cases highlight the importance of understanding FAA regulations and respecting the privacy and property rights of others when flying drones. I will give you an example. I'm talking about 10 years ago when my son was still in school, middle school. We about 5-10 children and the parents of these children, we all got together and we went out to a fast food restaurant for like a meal with the teacher. We were just showing some appreciation to the teacher, and I think they chose Burger King. Of course, people like me cannot eat much at Burger King, but we went because it was, a way to show appreciation to the teacher and to in front of the students who are our children. So we were there, and this father was sitting next to me. And, this particular school had some very, very rich people, and it had some very ordinary middle class people like us. And the very, very rich people who were there, that's how I got my sort of exposure to how they think and act and lead their lives. He said, last weekend there was a drone over our property where it's very secluded, it's a few thousand acres of land and usually nobody's there. And I saw the drone and it was hovering right over where we were, and it was looking at my children and my wife and I. And so I have a bow and arrow, and I'm an archer. And I went and took the bow and arrow and I hit the drone. I'm talking about almost 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. So there are people like that. They will do anything, and they're brave, they'll do anything to defend their own rights and for privacy and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of laws and rules and regulations, and this is not about drones. This is about what ChatGPT can, if you may not be a drone expert, but maybe you have an interest in drones. Maybe you want to be in contact with people who are flying drones. Maybe you want to teach them. Maybe you want to be in that field. You may not have any expertise, but you can choose to educate anybody for free, right? Just start making these articles and start posting them. And you have to verify some of these things. Really, did that happen in California? Really, did that happen in Kentucky? Okay, just verify those things, because, this is not an encyclopedia. This is not even Wikipedia. And even Wikipedia, we all know there's some mostly good information, but there's also some not good information, wrong information or false information. So this is very much like that. This has, and it can generate its own stuff. So you want to verify everything that all the information that you, particularly when you're using it for official purposes, when you're using for teaching purposes, you do have to do a cross check with other sources like Google search. Is this true? Like, I might put this case report. Where is it? These case reports into Google search and ask the question, is this really true? And but look at this. It's fantastic. Literally in seconds, it typed this up. Right? Now I'm giving it another interesting command. Please make the above post funnier and the tone more informal. Right? So here is a version of the blog post with a more informal, humorous tone. Titled, Droning On, the FAA's Rules and Best Practices for Flying Your Flying Camera. It's funny. Drones, these little flying machines can be so fun to fly, but there's a lot of rules and regulations you need to follow to stay on the right side of the law. In this post, we'll take a look at the FAA's regulations for drone flying and give you some tips for safe and legal flights. The FAA is kind of like the boss of the sky. Oh my gosh, look at how informal that is, right? And they've got a bunch of rules you need to follow if you want to fly your drone without getting into trouble. Some of these rules include registering your drone. If it weighs more than 0.55 pounds, you've got to register it with the FDA. It's kind of like getting your dog registered with the city, but less furry. Staying.
Okay.
Funny post,
Yes.
It made it very funny, right? So just like a pilot checks their plane before takeoff, you should make sure your drone is in good condition before you take off. No, you don't need to file a flight plan, but you should have an idea of where you're going to fly and what you're going to do while you're up there. Be aware of the weather so your drone doesn't get washed out by the rain or something, struck by lightning or something. Don't be a creep. Don't fly your drone over people without their permission. Keep it down. Drones can be loud, so try to avoid flying your drone early in the morning or late at night when your poor neighbors are trying to sleep. Be cool, be respectful of other people's privacy and property rights. Just because you're flying a drone doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. See, this is very appealing when it's written like this. I mean, here in America, it's not considered disrespectful. It's considered candid, honest, direct, and people love this kind of communication. So now everybody, this post can go viral, right? Because it's written in such a beautiful, informal, humorous, conversational style. So, and it's about something that's a pretty dry topic. I mean, if you're not interested in drones, it's just like, whatever, I don't care about it, right? If you're interested in drones, this is a really good way for you to learn that, you know, you have certain duties and responsibilities to the general public if you're going to be engaging in an activity that could potentially threaten the general public's privacy and peace of mind and safety. Now use the blog above outline above for the legalities of drone flying, understanding FAA regulations and best practices. Please create a step-by-step detailed and engaging YouTube video script. So what did it do? It now it said, here's a step-by-step detailed and engaging YouTube video script. This is you going to be recording this. You're going to be reading the script and you're recording a YouTube video that is similar to the blog that you've just written, utilizing the help of ChatGPT. And you're, in order to record a video with you speaking about the FAA regulations and how it impacts drone operators, you're telling the ChatGPT to create a script for you to read off the screen as you're recording the video. Now, is it giving me a script? No. It is saying, welcome viewers, introduce the topic of drone flying regulations, talk about how drones have become increasingly popular. This is not what I want. I gave the prompt again, and again, it gave a step-by-step detail. Welcome viewers, talk about how drones have become popular. Then I said, you know what? You've got to give me the actual script. An outline is not sufficient, please. I basically scolded it, right? So guess what? Okay, here's the detailed script. Here you go, right? Hey everyone, welcome to this video about the legalities of drone flying. Drones have become increasingly popular over the years, but many people don't realize the legal implications of flying them. In this video, we'll take a look at the FAA's regulations for drone flying and provide some best practices for safe and legal drone use, right? So when you have a video, you connect with eye contact with the people, and now you have a script. You don't have to, no sweaty palms, nothing about whether the script, this is, everything is, it's grammar checked, punctuation checked, language checked, right? You don't have to worry about whether your language use is going to attract your customers or the people you want to educate or impart knowledge or education to. It's beautiful. The video script, it just goes on and on. In conclusion, it's important to understand that FAA regulations and best practices for safe and legal drone flying. It is important to understand these. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that you're flying your drone in a responsible and respectful way that avoids legal issues and promotes safety for yourself and others. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos on drones and other tech topics. How do you like that? I mean, if you're somebody that wants to get into the business of educating drone flyers, this is what you got to do. You don't have to know anything about drones. You don't have to have actually operated a drone yourself. I mean, it would be nice. You'll speak more from a more authentic place, but look at what ChatGPT is doing for you. It's making you an authority in a field. Even if you just have the desire, you can become an authority by generating blog posts like this. And these blog posts are informative. They're educational. They will definitely elevate the knowledge level of the users and the customers. They may not have the time to go through Google and read 10,000 entries, go through 10 pages. You've given them the essence of the most important things, even if they have to go through 6 or 7 websites to get all this information, right? Now you've given them the crux, the compressed and the condensed and the succinct summary of what somebody will have to go through 6 or 7 or 10 or entries or 10 pages of entries on Google, depending on what the topic is. You've given it to them in this readable and listenable format. Now, make the script much more lively and engaging. right? So then it did all that. It gave a nice, very, very nice, engaging script. Okay, now we are going to change topics and get into some prompts that require, prompts that are telling this ChatGPT to do a lot more, so that, I mean, you're going to define what you want it to do in a lot more detail. This context specificity, the step 3. So one is giving it the role, second is giving it the task, and the third thing is giving it the context and the specificity in which you want it to operate. So these prompts going forward, they are more context specific, so that you can see all the juice that you can extract from this tool, right? So I want you to act. You're telling ChatGPT, which is a chat bot. Okay, this is your muse, your buddy, right? Your whatever you want to call it, your partner in crime, your mate, whatever you want to call it, right? Look, ChatGPT, I want you to act as the world's best advertising agency. You will create a full and detailed marketing campaign to promote a product or service of my choice. I'm the boss. You're going to do what I tell you to do. Create the marketing campaign, right? And you are the world's best advertising agency. So what is this actually telling you? You don't have to go to the world's best advertising agency and pay the big bucks. You are going to get the same campaign here, because this one has access to all their previous campaigns, all their styles, all their everything, their styles of communication, everything. It has everything. It has the voice of the world's best marketeers, the world's best advertisers, people who have written billion-dollar copy for the success of products or services in multinational corporations here. So you have access to that. You don't have to pay anybody any money. Everything has already been entered into this thing. So you are now hiring the world's best advertising agency. It just happens to be your ChatGPT chatbot, right? You will create a full detailed marketing campaign to promote a product or service of my choice. You will choose a target audience. You will develop key messages and slogans. You will select the media channels for promotion. You will decide on any additional activities needed to reach your goals, which will be set by me. You will give examples of the cost of advertising in each social media channel, as well as the best estimate of cost per something, I forgot the M, what it is for, and cost per click charges for each of the social media. Here is my first request. That means you're telling the chat bot to first generate the slogans and the campaign, the messages and all that, to select the media channels, social media channels where it is going to distribute, right? And then to give you the cost per click in each of that, and the cost per, what is CPM? Someone help me, please. I should have known that.
CPM.
These are
yeah.
pretty standard advertising. So cost per 1,000 impressions. Yeah, M is mil, M-I-L-L-E. Cost per 1,000 impressions. Okay, so that should be 1,000 times the cost of one impression. But an impression is different from a click, right? So cost per click is when they actually take the action. Impression is that thing is just flashing by their eyes. Okay, the impression is 1/10 as engaging as click. Click is the real deal. When somebody is interested in your product or service, they're picking up their mouse. They've spent 3 seconds listening to you at a 5th grade level. They're picking up their mouse and they're doing click. Then immediately the social media gets paid, right? That's what that is. So
actually, it is an interesting topic. It's such an interesting topic. We can go for hours together.
Yeah, we have. It looks like another.
If we close the presentation and just come for a little bit of a concluding remarks of yours today, because we will take it on further again. But certain things were coming to the mind. I just thought that we can just talk about. If you close close the presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's a very detailed.
Absolutely.
Now let's take an example. Let's take an example. No doubt it's a facility. No doubt it is basically moving everything at an accelerated pace. All that is going on.
Yes, sir.
Now certain questions which comes to mind.
Yes.
Number one, what will happen to that all the research work which is being done by research scholars. Because over here, if entire information is coming ready-made to you, so it means the whole pattern of the education ecosystem has to be changed, because
Yes.
questions cannot come in that form. Examination cannot be conducted in that form. And I am rather happy to evaluate in my mind and to think about it. Why examination? What for examination?
No
Because
need for exams.
yeah,
I think
because,
I agree with you. No need for exams, but there will be a need in mathematics, in the sciences, because you need to understand concepts. But this ChatGPT can generate a question paper. I made it yesterday. I said, come up with 50 multiple choice questions for a science teacher for 8th grade or 5th grade or something. And immediately it started giving me 50 questions with 4
uh,
multiple choice answers.
next
So,
question which comes to mind, another
yeah,
question, ma'am, which is, sorry for the interruption. The next
no
question
problem.
which comes to mind,
Yeah,
if this is going to give you ready-made everything, then where will the creativity, the innovation and curiosity and those kind of an inputs will come into the cerebrum of the young boys and girls? Those got to do hit and trial, permutation, combination, thinking from various ways, how to go by, what is to be brought, which way it is to be done. I think it's going to bring a revolution in the entire education ecosystem.
absolutely, sir.
Another
Absolutely.
question which comes to mind. The people, those are making GPT,
Yeah.
the people, those are making, because after all, you have to write algorithm, you got to
Yes.
write software. So whatever they would be feeding
Yes.
initially, and then in the different parts, and they'll be
Yes.
upgrading it, modifying it, improving it. So the answers will come out accordingly from
To what
that
they
set
feed.
of box, what they feed.
Yes. Yes.
So
We will review all those. Maybe if we
from
have
time
1
to
or 2 more
time,
classes.
yes,
Yes. No, I can share with you its deficiencies in a lack of diversity of viewpoint, in
we
a
can
lack of,
devote
yes.
next week also onto this, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I have enough material for I mean, I actually have material for 3 to 4 hours, but I
okay,
can also tell you that if we want to train a rural Indian lady, for
yes,
example,
yes,
from home, how she can make money as a business, home business,
okay,
and we create a gadget that is a computer plus printer all in one. Okay, we
uh-huh,
create this gadget and we give
uh-huh,
it to her, small
uh-huh,
business loan, but instead of cash, we give her this, and she has
uh-huh,
to, we may give her the first 3 months of paper printing or whatever.
mm.
Now I can show you how, with a certain prompt, she can translate this English language educational videos that have transcripts, which now YouTube, most of the videos have transcripts. She can tell the ChatGPT, take the stock from YouTube, take the transcript, put it into Hindi or into Tamil or whatever local language. I mean, Hindi and Tamil are there on ChatGPT. It can actually write in Hindi and Tamil, and then it prints out the verbatim translation into Hindi or Tamil. Then she prints out the Hindi or the Tamil version and gives it to the people who need to learn more in that area, but may not have the language proficiency or the exposure just yet. So it can be used even in villages to raise the level of education and understanding. Now, the problems are the lack of diversity. So is it putting an Indian viewpoint into the system? No. Is it putting in Indian research papers? I don't know. They are telling us it's a huge, it's everything, but there are some biases, and there is a lack of diversity in what is being fed into this, and it will only spit out those answers that are fitting the people who are feeding it the information, provided that they are not keeping back any information. So these are things that are subject to testing and to understanding. But the fact that it can translate into Hindi, the fact that it can translate into Tamil, Russian, Spanish, Mandarin, Chinese, it's fantastic, because what it gives us is a is an incredible and powerful tool to train people who don't have access to education, who may only know their local languages, which is fine. Language is a beauty of culture, and a language is something to be celebrated, and the fact that we have been reduced to one language is a matter of great sorrow to us, so why not learn it in Hindi? Why not learn it in Tamil? Why not learn it in the language of your mother tongue and understand it? And the important thing is to learn the concepts. How does it matter what language you're learning it in?
So, ma'am,
So those facilities are all available. And
yeah.
absolutely, so I think we should discuss you have raised some very, very important and valid points about what it is going to do to the educational ecosystem. We must plan along the lines of widespread adoption of this, because whoever has been saying do not use it, you cannot fact check it and all, within a couple of years time, I think all those kinks will be fixed. And I think all the literature from all the countries will go into it in order to make it a universally, globally applicable personal assistant for.
So thank you, ma'am. What comes to
Sure.
my mind, if you approve,
Yeah.
let's give a practical part next week.
Okay.
Women empowerment.
Yes, sir.
Women empowerment in rural areas
Yes, sir.
through ChatGPT.
Wonderful.
How would that be, ma'am?
It would be fantastic, because that was going to be the last slide. I hadn't had a chance to create it at our International Women's Day talk. Exactly one example how the woman can become, at least she can put food on the table. If something happens to the husband, the family won't just go on the streets. She can put food on the table. And then depending on her level of education, her level and desire to grow, continuous and never-ending improvement and all that, she can, people who are prompt engineers, like I've mentioned, people are paying them $200,000-$300,000 to generate these good prompts. Of course, they should be able to do like that marketing agency prompt, like I showed you, that's a long prompt. And the context is being super specific, which means you need to interview your customer. If you're a prompt engineer, like what do you actually want it to produce for you? How do you want it done? Blah, blah, blah. So you got to spend some time. That is an expertise. It's a skill of interviewing, getting to know and all that. So thank you very much. Absolutely. We can talk.
Ma'am,
thank you.
Second request, which I'll make you is, next Sunday when we do this program,
sure,
we will carry exactly the ChatGPT in a practical way.
Absolutely, sir.
We will take on something for the women empowerment.
Yes.
In the rural areas.
Yes, sir.
Based on a specific product or services.
Yes, sir.
And then we will see how the ChatGPT actually is going to transform the rural area. We will work out a practical part.
Exactly. So this is what I was saying. This is the first thing we have to do in our teacher education. This is the very first thing. Because what this will do is it will provide employment to rural women who don't have access to opportunity, who don't have access to jobs, who don't have access to education, and who have to work. They have to carry that pot of water from the well and to the house, whatever it is. They have the children, they have the husband, they don't have access. So it will first provide literally life to families in rural India. The second thing it will do is it will raise the general knowledge level, even without knowledge of English, by this.
Okay.
So it will raise the whole country's education and knowledge level when we empower rural women to be able to. This is the most important thing that I had, previously as well. This is what I wanted to talk about at the end of that International Women's Day. Only one thing, you don't need to learn about Wikipedia, Microsoft, Excel and all that. You just need to know about ChatGPT, and I can deliver this to rural women in 10 hours.
What
10 hours of training.
What we will do, ma'am? What we will do, ma'am?
Yes,
let's set the context.
Okay.
And I'll take a specific example.
Yeah.
There are certain rural interiors in India.
Yes, sir.
Where there's only one teacher in a particular school.
Yes.
Now, for the ChatGPT, what bandwidth is required? What kind of a mobile phone is required?
Okay.
What kind of a knowledge the trainer or the master trainer in that rural area should have?
Okay.
And let's develop a pool of the women who should take on education awareness, or whatever you want to call it, even the rural teachers through the chat GPT. I would like that, and I would make a request to you next week. Let's take a practical example of that with case study, with illustration, and let's show some pictures of the rural area and over there, what exactly is to be done, and then the various steps we will take on. Okay, fine. On your mobile phone, open your chat GPT this way. This much minimum bandwidth is required. This is the way you become a rural teacher, and that is to be done exclusively under women empowerment.
Absolutely.
With these words, I convey my deep gratitude and thanks to you, ma'am. Thanks for joining us today, and looking forward to learn something from you more for women empowerment, rural areas through chat GPT, empowering education.